Welcome back everyone to my low-level playthrough of Chrono Trigger on the Wii Virtual Console. Last episode, Crono, Lucca, and Marle escaped from Guardia Castle in 1000 AD and ended up here in the future. It's actually 2300 AD. We're going to learn the exact time in this episode. Right now we're just learning from these people that they're basically starving. And seeing us come across the ruins from the west gives them some hope. They're starving because their food is down below, but it's guarded by this robot. Somebody went down there to get some of the food earlier, but they haven't returned. So we're volunteering to head down there and check to see if the person who went down there to get the supplies is still alive. And unfortunately, just like the future here, it's a bleak situation for this individual. He must have been caught by this security guard robot here. We're going to run right through the room. If you don't run through the room, wait there. These four smaller robots appear. It's an unescapable battle. And of course we don't want to get that experience, so we just run right through, and that causes the boss to drop. Another three-part boss like the Dragon Tank, but you have to only defeat the Guardian, which is the big middle part. However, if you attack the Guardian while the bits are still alive, it will do a triple counterattack, so that'll hit all your party members. If you attack the body while only one is alive, then it'll counter with an Amplify beam, which is about double damage from the regular beams that the bit normally shoots. Also, when one bit is alive, you'll sometimes just use the Amplify on its own, like that. So the goal is basically take out the bits, and then while the Guardian is reviving the bits, just concentrate all your attack on the Guardian. The Guardian has 1,200 hit points, the bits have 200 each. So about 2 attacks from each character will take the bit down. Good thing is when the bits are defeated, the Guardian isn't going to do anything, so you can technically heal if you need to heal. I just use a quick tonic there. And it just counts down from 5, and then once it's down to 0, just stop attacking it, because you don't want to accidentally trigger that counterattack when the bits get revived. So you can take off about 500 to 600 damage, depending on if you get critical hits or not. So it'll take probably 2 or 3 cycles, depending on how lucky you get, to defeat this guy. So eventually, like I said, I have a calculator out, and I'm just keeping track of the hit points that I take off, because I want to end it with just a little bit of hit points, enough that Lucca could finish it off with one shot. So next time that I defeat all the bits, I'll be keeping track of how much damage Lucca does. She does the least amount of damage out of all the characters that we have so far. She's the only one who hasn't really gotten she got that one upgrade for the gun, but Crono has the load sword, and Marle got the load bow. Found them in the ruins to the west. It's due for an update. She'll get one in the next dungeon. Just like I said, just avoid hitting the Guardian, and slowly but surely you will eventually win this fight. I unfortunately had to retry this fight 3 times, because I'd get to the point where I'd be very close to having the Guardian down, and then Crono or Marle would get a critical hit when I didn't want them to, you know. It'd be down to like, say, like 80 hit points, and I'd be like, okay, one more hit with Crono, and then that'll weigh down to the point where Lucca can finish off 1 hit, and then Crono would get a critical, and it happened twice. So yeah, when I don't need criticals, I get them. And when I want criticals, I just can't seem to get them, so I think I mentioned in other playthroughs that my luck is pretty bad sometimes. Yeah, I mentioned that in the Oracle of Ages playthrough, and one cave where you had to pull it for 50-50 chance. It took me 8 times to get it. is almost finished. So I want to hit it a few times. I'll eat the counterattack to allow Crono and Marle to die. Just keep them healed up. And I got so lucky there that I was just at the point where one more hit would have taken it out. So I finish it up. Lucca's going to gain 2 levels. It's unavoidable. Takes Marle and Crono at the low levels. Experience of routing is kind of important in the future here. Luckily, we'll be getting someone who will be able to absorb some more levels other than Lucca. We'll be getting another party member later on. But here we found the refrigeration unit and everything's rotten. The refrigeration failed, and there was the guy who came down here to get the food, but you see he passed away. But even though he doesn't have life, he's clinging on to some seeds, which may bring life back into this world. The rat is more than the statue. It knows the password. On our way to this room, there was a rat statue, but we now just learned that the rat statue is more than a statue. It's an actual rat, and it's moved. So we just have to run. It's a little faster than us, but it corners worse than us. So that's how you basically catch it, by making time around the corners. And I didn't do too good a job there, but I did manage to just catch it. And it tells you the password. Hold L and R and then press A. And that'll open up the door to the right for the second part of the dungeon. You have to enter that password where the console is glowing like looks like a tab's there. But before we head down there, we might as well heal ourselves up in the Enertron. There'll be battles downstairs, we can escape from them, but just to be safe. At least this way, if we do get into a battle and we have to run, if they decide to hit us, if an enemy hits us before we get to run, we're not going to be wiped out. So better safe than sorry, just, it takes a few seconds there to heal up and save your game. Enter the password, a platform appears. Now we can head in here. There's a treasure chest there, we'll get on the way out. I said all these encounters you can run from. Still want to try to avoid them as much as possible though, just save time. Not even bumped into one. Down below, we saw some rats running around, and this robot there. Those robots are called buggers, and they're basically like really sensitive to movement. So actually, if you trigger an encounter with them, sometimes they'll shoot the rats because the rats will run around. It's really important to note that they're sensitive to movement because it's going to dictate how we are forced to move in the later dome to avoid an encounter with them. So we could enter the password over there on the other side there. There's another console, but it takes us to one of those locked doors. We're going to have to come back here much later in the later on in the future of the game to get that door to 100% the game, but for now we just avoid it. By the time we get back to the time we can unlock that door, we'll have the wall accessory, so random encounters won't matter. We won't be any experience from them. So Lucca uses this console to find out where another gate could be. So now we know where we have to go, and Marle decides to press another button on this console. Because everyone knows that you just want to press buttons when you have no idea what they're going to do. This one triggers a recording of basically the end of the world. So this giant, it's like a sea urchin kind of thing called Lavos bursts out of the ground and rains destruction down on everything. So yeah, thought Y2K was bad. 1999, the day of Lavos was worse. Destroyed all of civilization. And seeing the tragedy that befell in 1999, our heroes decide, hey, we need to stop this. Just like how they went back in Crono and Lucca went back in time to save Marle and rewrite history there by saving the queen. They decide, hey, we did it then, let's do it for these people here. So this is basically going to drive the plot of the game. We have to find and defeat Lavos before he can boast out of the oath and destroy everything. So it doesn't matter what you say. If you say no, then they scold you. Come on, don't be a wuss, basically. Of course, before we can save the world, we have to escape this time period, and we'll do that by heading over to the Proto Dome. I'll show the console again. You gotta go through those rooms over there. There's a junk factory there. That'll be another dungeon, and there's the Proto Dome. Luckily, those rooms we can. There'll be a way to kind of bypass them. Wait for the robots to move. Sneak out. So after we complete everything down here in this section of the dungeon, when we go back, we'll actually report to the people what happened, to their companion who went down to get the food. Surprised that we didn't just come back, the first time and say, hey, we went down there and your friend unfortunately passed away. We withheld that information until after we found out where we need to go. Well, we tell the leader here about where we need to go. He's going to give us a jet key. Apparently he has kind of like a futuristic motorcycle that he can use to cross the rooms. And that'll save us a bunch of encounters. Although, any encounters that you meet, if you decide not to use the motorcycle, you can run from. We're actually going to go back where all those encounters are to get an item. But we'll talk about that when we get there. So he gives us the bike key, and we give him the seeds. And they said we'll try to plant them and see what happens. Just gotta move out of our way. Heal ourselves up. I don't think I took any damage. But this is the last time we can really get a free heal. Because now we can be an Enertron over in the Proto Dome. So take advantage. Got caught on the ledge there. And at the beginning of the game, when I had the intro cutscene, we saw that one scene where the Crono was racing this robot guy. Well, that's just going to happen right here. If you try to come here before you have the jet key, you'll get into a fight with these 4 robots. And obviously, you don't want to do that because you don't want to gain experience. But by having the key and trying to start that jet bike, we summon this guy, Johnny, who will appear. And he prevents us from having to go and fight these robots. It's the man. And he also will prevent us from potentially having to cross the rooms on our own. Now the rooms are really a real short dungeon. It's like 3 screens maybe. 3 screen length is 1 continuous screen. But we'll try to see if we can avoid Johnny here. So the goal is try to get in front of Johnny, and then try to have him just stay in front of him, and when he tries to pass you, block him off. You get points the longer you stay out in front of him. And we're going to get a race log. We're going to head back into the rooms to get this race log. And if you have the race log, you can keep playing Johnny and you can win items depending on their score. I get lucky here and actually managed to win. I was about to hit my booster. You can race Johnny with or without boosters. If you race him with boosters, you get 3 of them. Press the B button, see him down there, little blue B, and that gives you like a burst of speed. You usually want to save 1 booster till the end, so when you're right near the goal, hit the booster, last second, overtake Johnny, but I managed to do it without the booster. I was about to use the booster, but crossed the finish line, so that was lucky. So if you go back into the rooms, and go over a few screens, there'll be one treasure chest that has the race log. Like I said, that'll unlock the mini game to, like I said, always challenge Johnny, and you get some prizes from him. I'm very terrible at that game though, so I don't really do the mini game and get all the prizes. It's not something any like important or something that you need to like 100%. I think most of the items are you get different tabs, and you can get a lot of tabs just from playing the game and charming, stealing from enemies later on. You get a character that can steal. So there's the race log. Yeah, about like another screen length over is back to the beginning where you first met Johnny. But yeah, so now we can challenge Johnny, but we're not going to. Instead, we're going to head to the Proto Dome. If we try to get into that factory up there, we can't. There's a laser beam blocking the conveyor belt that takes us into the place. So you're forced to head to the Proto Dome here. And we're forced to fight this encounter here. And I'm just going to fast forward it basically. But we want to take out the one next to Lucca, and then just let these two whittle them down. They have about 120 hit points, I think. So you hit about like twice, and then have them finish off Lucca and Marle. Have them finish off Marle and Crono, and then have Lucca finish them off. And like I said, then we'll just make a quick save here because we have a battle here that if you're not careful, you'll be forced to encounter, and we can't absorb any more experience. So at this point we have to walk, just hug the bottom there, and walk past these guys. Remember, they're attracted by movement, so if you run at any time while they're on the screen, it'll trigger their, I guess, motion sensors, and they will wake up, and you'll have to fight them, and like I said, it's an inescapable battle, so you do not want to have to fight them. So just go slow. That's why we made that safety safe, just in case. And Lucca here sees this robot and says, hey, I can fix it. If you explored the Millennial Fair back in 1000 AD, on the opposite side of the fair where you rescued that girl's cat, there's a robot there, Gatto, and he's a robot that Lucca made, and you can fight him to earn silver points, which is like the little currency that you can use for the mini games. So Lucca, you know, it's established that she's like good with robotics, so fixing up this robot is no problem at all. And we get our fourth character, Robo. Many people consider him the best character. He's kind of like another red mage, like how Frog was, but he hits harder. He has much better like magic techniques than Frog. Frog has like Water 1 and then a Water 2. Robo gets quite a few like bombs and shocking techniques. He is the third most powerful magic spell, Shock, and his Uzi Punch might be the second strongest single tech attack in the game, next to Crono's Confuse tech. So the only thing bad about Robo is he's slow, but we have accessories and you can always feed him speed tabs, and at one point in the game he gets an upgrade where he gets +3 speed, and every time you go through the game you get that +3 speed, so it's a good way to max him out. But yeah, so now we have the 3 party members who will actually finish the game for us. Crono, Robo, and Marle, that's the final party that we'll end up using. But for now, we're just going to use them to head to that factory up north. Now you want to have your Marle in your party here. Eventually we're going to come back here and switch Lucca out. We can switch Marle and Lucca out. Basically you have to leave one character behind because Robo said the door that takes us to the gate, it's locked, and power's out, so someone has to stay behind to open the door once we switch the power on in this factory. So, and we'll be doing that in our next episode. So, thanks for following along. Take care, and I'll see you in that episode. Bye.